Shalom. Let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. We can double honors to the elders, bishops, and apostles, the true prophets, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the children of Israel, the people of Negro, Latino, Native American, and Seminole Indian descent, Israelite foreigners as well, who were scattered around the four corners of the earth, amongst the heathen nations, but are Israelites through their father's side. This also applies to you as well. So hopefully this is another sign of escalation, which it is, because it's biblical. I'm speaking on Turkey here, and this is the Turkish president. And for years he's been speaking out against the state of Israel anyway. He's always been an enemy of Israel. Though he's always kept somewhat the peace in that area. And remember, Turkey is a NATO member, which again, NATO's about to be broken up, period, and about to side with Gog, okay, with Gog and Magog, okay, the Russians. All right, so don't get confused by the names themselves. Because when you do biblical searches, it'll tell you that those names, especially the names pertaining to Turkey, were pretty much sons of Japhet. All right, Togarmah, Gomer, and it's escaping me right now. That's Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, which I'll eventually get it anyway. Where again, sons of Japhet. And you know what? Let me do this before I go. Out of curiosity, this will help me out by doing this. How am I going to do this? Okay, here we go. And remember that Japhet was pushed out of the land. Okay, and that's what confuses a lot of these people that can't get biblical prophecy itself. They just can't get it. They just can't make sense out of it. According to the Bible, Genesis 10:2 and 1 Chronicles 1 and 5, Japhet had 7 sons. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. These sons are listed in the table of nations as ancestors of various Indo-European and maritime people. Okay. So something's missing here. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. So let's get down with these videos here. So he said 7 sons. So the third woe cometh quickly. I'm going to play this one first here.
Speak to you. Now, as I speak to you, Turkish warships are playing a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the Israeli Navy in the waters off Cyprus, and the tension is so thick as I voice this script right now. We're not talking about a routine patrol or a minor diplomatic squabble. We're witnessing a full-blown naval blockade, a brazen show of force that has effectively locked Israeli vessels out of a crucial maritime artery.
The Turkish Navy has forced out an Israeli ship in Cypriot waters as tensions continue,
while the ongoing West Asia conflict continues to disrupt global order. A possible new brawl between Turkey and Israel threatens to blow the entire diplomatic process apart.
And Turkey has launched a blistering attack on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, accusing him of undermining fragile peace efforts in West Asia.
Just 2 weeks ago,
Amalek is on a tear, man. He is literally on a reign of terror, you know. And again, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to enter into the minds of these kings, man, and and come up against her. But ultimately, like the scripture says in Jeremiah as well, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Israel's about to do something, which it shouldn't come to no surprise to, especially those that have dealt with Amalek, that's a demonic ass wicked nation, man. It's like a straight up monster. I'm trying to describe how these people are, man. They've been raining terror across the face of the earth because they're the puppet master behind, America and its foreign policies, and they're the puppet master behind all these wars. They're the bankers, and this is all this nation of demons, this nation of devils. This nation of devils. This is all they know, man, is war and death and destruction and theft, and it's just what they do. And hold on, I'm trying to find the information that I want as far as when the Edomites came in and took over that land. And I'm thinking it was the the Caucasians rising up against the Etruscans. Mainly, you can go back and I thought it was before 509 BC, but hold on a second here. I'm digging up information here on my tablet here. In 480 BC, Etruria, allied Carthage, was defeated by the coalition of Magna Graecia, the Greek colonized zone encompassing Sicily and southern Italy. Cities led by Syracuse. Later it was coalition of Caucasians, Latins, and the New Greeks that led to the Etruscans' withdrawal from the whole of Latium in 475 BC. So it goes on. Hold on, because I got a lot of information on this, man. As Caucasians kept coming in, Rome soon became a large city similar to the powerful cities of southern Etruria, and then it had also become predominantly Edomites. It says Caucasians too, which Caucasian means cave dweller. All right. I wish I can find the video where the brother, the head of the Dallas camp, in the video he made. It was at I think the Charlie Kirk funeral where the Edomite was screaming and hollering, giving his speech, and saying it came out of the man's mouth when they came up out of the caves. I wish I can find that video. I mean, this man was going on a tear, man, on a rant, speaking the truth, speaking their mind, speaking of that Edomite supremacy. Okay, it was a Caucasian uprising that drove the Etruscans from Rome in 509 BC. Okay, a year later in 475 BC, Syracuse tyrant Hiero defeated the Etruscans at the Battle of Cuma. Later, Etruria saw a Gallic Celtics Gauls Celt invasion in its influence over the Po Valley and the Adriatic coast. Meanwhile, Rome has started annexing Etruscan cities. This first led to the loss of their North Province. The Etruscans continued to decline until finally Etruria was incorporated into Rome. Over time, the Etruscans ceased to exist as a separate people, and they, along with their culture and technology, were totally absorbed into Rome. However, they were pushed out. Okay, it should be pointed out that if the Etruscan tomb paintings are any indication, absorption by the Latins was not unduly traumatic. Let me find this other one, though, because there's a lot of information on this. You just gotta dig, man. And And that's the only way I can learn it, by me finding it myself. And, instead of just taking the information that brothers bring out, you have to dig and you have to look into it yourself to give you pretty much an ideal of what happened and how it happened. But again, the original Japhetic tribe was, the Edomites pushed them up out of that land. Okay? But what I want is the more specific battles. And I can't find it. It's gonna take me too long. I'm gonna have to just get back to this video here. Give me a second. Give me one more second here. It's just so much going on, man, and it's escalating. This is pretty much, this video is showing you that this thing is escalating. And it's what we've been praying for. We've been praying for the worst, which the worst is the downfall of this place, man, and the time of Jacob's trouble. Anyway, let me play this video, and then I'll get back into the scriptures here.
Turkish Navy forced an Israeli research ship, the Bat Galim, to turn tail and flee from waters that the internationally recognized government of Cyprus had given it permission to be in. The Israeli government confirmed it, and they were furious, but fury doesn't move a Turkish frigate, does it? This isn't just a reaction to a single incident. This is the culmination of a boiling cauldron of rage, a direct challenge to Benjamin Netanyahu's unhinged warmongering.
Okay, remember, this is speaking about, this is also pertaining to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter as well. There's a couple of scriptures I'm going to snatch up out of here. Okay. Okay. And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. And remember, all these nations that at one point or another, Babylon and Amalek has terrorized, and NATO has literally destroyed. And now Persia is at the focal point now, but Ethiopia, Libya, and you should hear your boy speak about Ethiopia, which is true, but you should hear how he speak about it. He speaks like they're straight up at the level of dogs, which they're pretty much that's pretty much close, heathens. Okay, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer, here we are right there, Gomer, and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, that's Turkey, of the north quarters, and all his bands, his army. And I think that's the largest NATO member in that area, the largest NATO army, military in that area. That's a mighty power, man. And Turkey, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And you know that Russia and Turkey has become, behind the scenes really are like kind of friends, and I think I'm not sure, but I'm gonna have to do the search again, um, because Turkey and Russia, um, they made some deals. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Russia has supplied actual Turkey with missile defense systems, so something's going on there, and that's been years ago. Um, Let me do this. And that's why Babylon has backed off a little by not selling Turkey. I think it was the F-35s. You know, let me do the search. What? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Turkey and Russia have a complex and evolving relationships marked by both cooperation and tension. They are significant trade partners, with Russia being a major supplier of energy to Turkey, and they collaborate in areas like tourism and infrastructure projects. However, they have differing views on geopolitical issues such as the Syrian civil war and the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which sometimes strain their relationship. Hold on. Because Russia, again, sold Turkey missile defense systems. See if that's in here. Conflict. Military cooperation. Turkey's purchase of Russian. And remember, Turkey's a NATO nation. Turkey's purchase of Russian military equipment, such as the S-400 missile system, has raised concern among NATO allies. Imagine that. You know, in all these years, NATO has been uh, making Russia the boogeyman. They're going to attack. They're going to attack, which mainly that's that American propaganda that they've been pushing, with their plants they put into the NATO members' heads, and EU nations, to making Russia the boogeyman. They're going to attack. They're going to attack. So look at that. I would do that search. When did that happen? What year it happened? Because it was like good 10, 12 years, maybe a little longer than that. Hold on. Over U.S. warnings, Turkey gets Russian-made S-400 missiles. 2017. So it's 9 years ago. Turkey signed a deal to purchase the Russian S-400 missile systems in 2017. The first delivery of the system occurred in 2019. Time's just flying, man. You just lose track of time when things happen. It just seemed like it was a lot longer, longer than that. And there's future plans to purchase more. So there you go. So that tension is rising more and more. Let me finish this video.
Turkey under Recep Tayyip Erdogan will no longer stand by while the Zionist project in Tel Aviv burns the Middle East to the ground to satisfy its insatiable appetite.
In those missile defense systems, they say through a few tweaks here and there can be turned into a weapon system to attack other than for defense. And Russia, your boy Putin has always raised that concern with Russia, the U.S. Supplying Ukraine and who else? Poland. And I think there was one more with missile defense systems that, again, Putin raised that concern that these things can simply, through a program or two, can turn into offensive weapons.
For land and conflict. This blockade is the physical manifestation of a war of words that has been simmering for months and has now exploded into something far more dangerous. Erdogan has looked the world in the eye and called Netanyahu exactly what he is, a man blinded by blood and hatred, a leader whose entire political survival depends on the perpetuation of never-ending war. Just this week, Erdogan made a statement that sent shockwaves through the Israeli war cabinet, saying, and I quote, "Just as we entered Libya
Hold on, let me do this.
and Karabakh, we can enter Israel."
Ooh. Those are major threats, man. Here you go. Here you go.
This rampant state, this state of terror, if not stopped, will sooner or later set its sights on Anatolia, driven by the promise of a promised land. Israel isn't just attacking Palestinians in Gaza. It's attacking us. Hamas is defending Anatolia's front line in Gaza. Are you too blind to see this?
The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called for an immediate end to what he's described as an unlawful war.
Okay, let me do this here. Let's do this here. Okay, hold up. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord, which destroyed all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for a foundation, but thou shalt be desolate forever, said the Lord. Ain't none of that spirit of Edom said we will rebuild, and that's literally in their spirit what they think. They're gonna cause all these wars to happen and thermonuclear missiles to be used, and then ultimately after all the smoke settle, they're gonna come out and rebuild again. But hold on, let me do this. And that ain't happening, Captain. It's not that one. Hold on. Hold on. It's it's Malachi 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Malachi 1. And I hated Esau, it says. hated Esau. I have loved you, saith the Lord, but you say, how and in what way have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, declared the Lord? Yet I love Jacob, Israel. But in comparison with my love for Jacob, I have hated Esau, Edom. And I have made his mountains a wasteland and have given their inheritance to the jackals of the wilderness. Though impoverished, Edom says, we have been beaten down, but we will return and build up the ruins. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they may build, but I will tear down, and men will call them the wicked territory, the people against whom the Lord is indignant forever. Forever. And looking into the minds of these devils, it's exactly what they think. They're going to come back and rebuild. Not happen, cat. And they shall not take up of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, said the Lord. Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Turkey, many in Ashkenazi. Remember the sons of Japhet, right? Which is not Japhet, it's Edom that's in these lands now. You know, Ashkenazi Jews. Appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars that consume the green, the vegetation. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Mount Ararat. There you go. Turkey. Oh man, come on. So let me play this video here. Finish it up.
Waged by the Americans and the Israelis against Iran. Furthermore, reiterating his call to immediately halt what he described as the network of massacres led by Netanyahu, the Turkish president said that the whole world is paying the price for Israeli wars. And not only a diplomatic fallout, but Erdogan has warned of deep economic shocks from this war, which he said could in fact take years to repair and will hinder opportunities for dialogue. He also highlighted the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global energy choke point, noting that its closure has caused some serious turmoil across West Asia, particularly driving sharp rises in oil prices. And this has forced several countries to implement measures to reduce fuel consumption. In recent times, Turkey has in fact actively engaged in diplomatic efforts involving countries like Egypt and Iraq to prevent the Iran conflict from escalating. Actively engaged.
Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. And his will is to gather the heathens. Where? In the valley of Jehoshaphat. that's his will. You know. So again, like I said, that third woe cometh quickly, and it's coming quickly, man. We just gotta hold on a moment more. Just a little moment more, man. It's coming. This thing is going down. Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his way? So the angels are literally provoking the minds of these kings, man. Literally are provoking it. Job, again, Job. Um, um, Job 33. In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumbers upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. That's right. That's exactly what it says, what it means, what it says. Sealeth their instructions. Wait a minute, what happened to it? Come on. Here we go. In a dream, a vision of the night, one may hear the Most High's voice when deep sleep falls on men while slumbering upon their bed. Then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction, that he may turn man aside from his conduct and keep him from pride. He holds back his soul from the pit of instruction and his life from passing over into Sheol, the netherworld, the place of the dead. Point was up here, though. So regardless, man, again, there ain't going to be no diplomatic solution, nor is there going to be a solution of war to bring this world back to peace, not in the way that they think. But this man is going to bomb his way up out of power. Best way I can say it. He's going to nuke him, he's going to, through war, he's going to nuke his way up out of power, man. He's on his way out. And this is just showing an escalation, man, that these people are fed up with Amalek. That's why they've been kicked out of so many countries through the years. Let me do that real quick before I close. Let me do that real quick, that search. No, this man, all he does is just steal and kill. The claim that Jews have been expelled from 109 countries is an exaggerated anti-Semitic trope. Historically significant expulsions have occurred in about 12 countries, including, so this is AI. They're tweaking it, not to have them look so bad. 109 countries. It says expelled. Expelled by King Edward I due to economic exploitation and anti-rat sentiment. Expelled by King Philip motivated by financial needs and religious pretexts, ordered by Fernandez Isabel, influenced by his Spanish Inquisition, expelled under similar circumstances such as in Spain. Expulsion occurred during periods of economic hardship and social unrest. Expulsion and forced conversions occurred in several regions. So it's the world. The world is tired of this man. Literally, man, the world is tired of him. And now the world is starting to find out that these people aren't who they say they are. It ain't nothing they can do to stop that. Because the info's already out. Everybody's using Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. I was just watching a video by what's it called? What's his channel? Call for an Uprising. So anyway, keep on praying. Keep on praying. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is hearing the cries. And that's the main thing. You know, because we're trying to get up out of here. We want the hell up out of here, man. We want this place destroyed, man. We desire peace and quietness on earth. We desire righteousness in this world. You know, we desire this our Lord Yahweh Shai to rule, man. That's what we desire. We desire a world of peace. And under this man, it can't be, because he's on a terror to destroy the earth, man. To literally destroy the earth and all the inhabitants thereof. So continue in prayer, and I hope you were edified, Lord willing. And let me give all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Next time, Lord willing, Shalom.